Hey, you want to see a magic trick? No gold, no diamonds, and no building materials. All I have is 3 bars of iron, a wooden pickaxe, and some sick tech. Now, cower in fear as I defy the laws of physics and create matter from nothing. Hey everybody, it's me, Wydo again, with another quick Steve tutorial. After a certain point, you do end up asking yourself whether learning all this really fancy block tech really is the best way to become better at Steve. To which one potential answer is no, and another potential answer is, haha, pickaxe go. So Steve labbing is kind of a Wild West right now. A lot of these things don't have like established names. So, I'm just going to refer to this as that thing with the anvil, for the foreseeable future. So, let's talk about how to do that thing with the anvil. The reason I wrote this off at first was because if you put the anvil on top of a block, it breaks it a whole lot. And it's kind of annoying because, I mean, obviously if you want to mine in midair, what's the point if you're just going to break the blocks, and fall to the ground? But it turns out you can actually completely circumvent this by dropping the anvil on the side of a block, just like that. So once you place your block down, you can jump really quickly. And what jumping does is it lets you readjust your aerial position to get to the side of the block without having to step on it, and make the block break quicker. So what this looks like in practice is put down a block, jump, reposition, anvil on the side, just like that. And what you can do after that is actually jump as the anvil breaks, and you won't touch the block and reset it. And you'll be able to mine the anvil a couple of times, actually like 4 separate anvils, 4 or 5 off of 1 iron block, or even a stone block, which is really cool. Also, I should mention that this tech only works on stages where your anvil gives you iron. So stages like Battlefield, Small Battlefield, Final Destination, Omega Form stages that are going to give you that consistent loot table for everywhere, it won't work because it actually takes mining like 2 separate dirt or wood blocks to get 1 placed block. Iron gives you a lot of bang for your buck in terms of building materials, so that's kind of what makes this tech work. So let's say you've mastered putting down the block and repositioning so you can mine the anvil and then jumping afterwards. Even if you don't step on it, of course the block is going to break eventually. So what do you do in that situation? You can actually hold B when you finish mining and it'll swap out the block automatically. So check this out. I'm mining, I hold B, block swapped, just like that. And that's really useful because it lets you keep going for a really long time. So let's say I'm mining like this. And look, I just literally swapped the block out. Super easy. Block's gonna break, swap it out. And there are a lot of inputs here, so again, this is a common theme in these videos. Gonna take some time to master it. The anvil's behavior is also pretty inconsistent. You notice there, I didn't even move anywhere horizontally, and it just broke the block anyway. But it is definitely possible to get pretty consistent, and I think this is a tech that's going to have a lot of uses in actual games. Being able to swap out the block underneath your feet after you finish mining the anvil is really useful off stage, because blocks placed off stage kind of break quicker. You can see, if I don't walk over them, a block here and a block here. The one I put off stage is going to break much quicker, even though I didn't step on either of them. When you're on stage, you have the luxury of being able to place multiple anvils, and the block still has time before it breaks. And then you can swap it out when you've mined a few anvils. Off stage, you kind of just have to mine once, and then swap out the anvil immediately. So, block, anvil, mine, swap. Just like that. You can chain it multiple times. You have to be quick. Again, if you wait too long after mining the anvil, you're gonna break the block by stepping on it. I'm misspacing them here. You can see I'm breaking the blocks with the anvil. Very precise. There we go. So I found a nice rhythm here off stage, and I can do this basically until my pickaxe breaks. And I see a lot of people skeptical of this. Like, they imagine, well, when's anybody going to give you time to do this? They could just run out and catch you. And it's true, like, somebody can jump out here and catch you. But to me, this speaks to the question of, like, can you learn this well enough that it becomes natural, right? Obviously, if you do this over and over again in the corner, they're going to come out and they're going to hit you, right? But that applies to any option in this game. What's important is that you have a lot of options when you decide to do it. Steve is completely free, right? He can shield, he can attack. So I'm going to put a block here, and let's say I'm mining, somebody can come out, I can swing and attack them, right? I can do some kind of weird fake out. I can mine, and then I can drop anvils and place blocks out here. So to me, it's like asking the question of, like, well, is Steve's forward air good, right? Because if you just forward air like this, it's useless, because somebody could just run up and parry it and punish you pretty easily. But in reality, forward air is just one of many tools that you can use in neutral to punish your opponent, right? If somebody thinks they're going to parry your forward air, you can fake them out and do a delayed forward air. You could do a nair and like pressure them. You could go behind them or even run back and mine. Of course, you could grab them. There are so many options you can pick. So I think that there is a lot of merit actually to practicing these block things off stage, because they're really gonna make your opponent want to come out and hit you. And Steve has a lot of really fun tools to prevent that from happening, let alone, fishing rod, which can completely reverse the situation on them, right? I say practice this stuff. Maybe don't go for like the super duper fancy things, but it can't hurt to have a couple of these setups memorized. Let's say that you're low on resources, you have some iron, but you really want to get diamonds, and you're afraid to mine on stage, and you're at ledge, right? Well, maybe if you're able to drop from ledge, and you know the timing, and you place down a block in the right place, like that, put down your anvil, and you get diamonds, and you get back to ledge with invincibility. You could see how that could be really useful. Maybe not doing it over and over and over again, but it's a setup that'll catch your opponent off guard, and it'll let you get diamonds. So I say it could be really, really useful to have a lot of these setups kind of on tap, right? You want to make sure that you can trip your opponent up with your block usage. So just to review, a couple things. Make sure that your anvil is on the side of your block or it'll break. Right there it was on the side of the block and it broke anyway. It's very inconsistent. But if you get that sweet spot, that exact distance, it does become very consistent. It's just something that, again, you have to practice. Do it instantly with swaps off stage, because otherwise the block will break too quickly and you won't be able to get multiple anvils. But if you're on stage, you can decide to take your time instead and mine multiple anvils. Something that is really important to know with this tech is how many blocks you can mine with any tool per anvil. So what I found is that if you have diamond, stone, iron, or wood, doesn't matter, you'll be able to mine up to 4 blocks off one anvil. So if I put down an anvil like this, you can see that I'm mining 4 blocks and then it disappears. That's how it works with diamond. And you can kind of preemptively prepare for that. So up here, 4, I'm holding jump after I mine the 4th. And I'm not really reacting. I kind of know when the anvil is going to disappear. Because otherwise, if I rely on my reaction, look what happens. Suddenly I'm standing on the block and the block breaks. So if you're doing this tech and you find that you keep on breaking the block underneath you after mining the anvil, that's probably because you're not being fast enough. Same idea applies if you're mining with your hands or a gold pickaxe, although it's going to be a different number of items. Your hands can mine 1 item, 2 items if you're frame perfect, and the gold pickaxe can actually mine 5 items, which is a lot. So having a gold pickaxe can be really helpful if you're trying to do this tech. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you today, because I've been on that Elite Smash grind, and although you can't send messages over Nintendo Switch Online, I can just tell I've made a lot of friends. Anyway, the fancy tech I've been talking about is definitely extremely important with Steve, because he has so much of it, but I gotta make sure not to neglect the fundamentals of this character. And not, necessarily just the Smash fundamentals. I'm talking Steve-amentals. When is the risk-reward of Fishing Rod worth it? How can you capitalize on people wanting to approach you because mining applies passive pressure? How can you use blocks in neutral to cover weird angles and tilt people? These are all questions I'm kind of like starting to get answers to, but I haven't really figured it all out. There is so much to learn here, and I am ready to do it. So bye for now. I gotta get back to making friends on Elite Smash, but stay on the grind, happy Steving, and of course, subscribe.